Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going for an e-bike ride through some areas of downtown Louisville into the Portland area. And right now I'm kind of going through the Riverfront Park area. And I'm not riding the Honda Navi because I know that I'd ridden the Honda Navi in recent videos, but today I am not riding that because I wanted to go and do some exploration off-road a little bit, which that cannot do. And the e-bike just been sitting locked up with nothing going on. And I wanted to get get the battery charged up, ride it around, let it discharge, not just sit there. Because when I store these bikes, when I'm not going to be riding them immediately, so like that day or the next day or the day after, if it's going to sit there for like a week or something, I usually just try to store the bike with the battery sitting at about 50 to 60%. And then when it's time to ride it, I juice it back up, depending on if it's going to be a long ride, or a lot of times I was trying to charge it back up to around 80%. And then not discharge it back beneath 20%, which is like the kind of stuff that's, best habits to maintain the battery. So this bike had just been sitting there for a while. I hadn't ridden it because there had been a lot of snow and ice locally and hadn't had a chance to do anything. And I had taken the Navi out for a ride recently, so part of the plan here is to go along the riverfront area, along the Ohio River, because they're supposed to be doing an expansion and improvement of the park, the Riverfront Park area, that will go through this area. So I was going to go and see what that looked like, if they've done much. Now, I've done videos where I've come through here before, and I've done videos where I've even come through here at nighttime. Oh, that was tight. It may not look tight on the video, because the GoPro is a wide-angle lens, and then often make things not seem all that close or closer, depending on what the angle is, what happens. But yeah, so I've gone through here before on multiple videos, and this area, they're supposed to be doing a project to expand the Riverfront Park to being the kind of nice park-like area, more similar to the area that I started at versus what a lot of this is, what a lot of this was like, before they started any work. And I'm not sure what stage any of this is in, or how much they've done or not done, or I forget even really when it's all supposed to be done. But stuff like that's usually like a multi-year project. It's not something that just happens immediately in the course of a few months. Oh, I guess too, I can, while I'm out here, there's no reverse, so I'll just back up. Something I can show real quick is at the Louisville Science Center, there is a Triceratops statue that was here originally and then got moved and been in storage for a long time, and they have it back out now. And you can come see this. It's in the kind of parking area behind the Louisville Science Center. So there it is, on top of the walkway into the building. It's a Triceratops. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's worth the trip out to see on its own, but it is here, if you're going this way anyway. But yeah, so my plan is to go down here along the Riverfront Park area and see what all this looks like. And it's daytime, so Not as treacherous as the last time I went through, which was at night. And not really treacherous because I ran into anybody or anything like that. It's just, it was dark. And this thing has a headlight, but it's not super, super bright, so it is easy to not see something on the trail until you get up close. And these are, the overpass that goes near here is Interstate 64. And to the right, that is the Ohio River. And this area back through here, which I'm not sure what they're doing. Yeah, there's a path that goes down closer to the water, but it's completely covered in garbage and debris, so you can't really go through there. So this area over here to the left that's all fenced up, that is where previously there would be a relatively large homeless encampment with people here. They have, the burn barrels to stay warm and grills, and there were even people that had like RVs or campers or things, and cars and tents and stuff. And I'm guessing that as they started work on the expansion of the park, that this was all going to be renovated and redone, that anybody who was here got pushed out. Because I know that when I had come through here before, and the last time I came through, I don't think there were many people down here. But there were like cars and stuff in here that had been left. I have no clue where this van's going. This isn't really a car or truck path. I guess they took a lot of these trees out because there was kind of pretty lush vegetation that went all the way down through here. Now there's a lot of garbage and trash that was strewn throughout, but I guess they're gonna redo a lot of this. And then there's a little underpass for a train bridge thing, or something where boats will come through. And this is a path that, you can go through on foot, on a bike, e-bike, what have you. I'm not sure 100% how safe all of this would be considered if you want to come through by yourself. Like at nighttime or something like I did before, but, I was on this, so I wasn't too worried about anybody catching up to me. There's a deserted building here. Again, since there are people that would kind of camp out down through here, I don't know that I want to go exploring abandoned buildings by myself without any form of protection. Because a lot of the stuff down through here used to be like industrial buildings. And it just goes along the Ohio River. Because the Portland area in Louisville used to be pretty big area where there's a lot of manufacturing and stuff, because it was right off the river, and when that was the number one fast way to travel, people built stuff around it. Oh. 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 Gotta pass safely. And then there's trains that come through here as well, because obviously there's train tracks over here. And that's the Ohio River to the right, which I've said a bunch of times. And it's kind of just random chance when you come through here if there's a train or not, because there was one on the tracks a little bit further back, but I've been here before. Ones are all the way down through here. And then now we're kind of getting out of the area, the corridor that I would kind of refer to as downtown Louisville, when you're getting a little bit more into the Portland region. Then I believe up here, I think this is Shawnee Park, where they have some, you know, sports fields and picnic facilities and what have you. Yeah, you can go to the Portland neighborhood, the commercial area. Yeah, so Shawnee Park is right ahead. Then there's the McAlpine locks, which are the lock system that a lot of the river barges and boats will go through. This is kind of an interesting looking area. And it's relatively common when you come through that little covered gazebo area that I go through that people will have it blocked off and have it, you know, a single family having like a get together or a cookout or something. It's interesting they have the path run through the middle of that, though. It seems like it'd be a little bit easier to use for that purpose if it was offset a little bit. It wasn't in the middle, you know, the path ran through the middle of it. It looks like they put more signs up because they're used to, it was more last summer really. There would even be people camped out down here along the river on that side when there was, like, you know, more lush vegetation and all that going on. And then these are the locks straight ahead where the boats will go through. Double check, make sure nobody's coming down through here. But yeah, this is this will go towards Portland Wharf Park. I'll see when I get up here what the battery percentage is at. I think it's still full, or still the full bars, somewhere between 80 and 100%. And if you're wondering what e-bike this is, so this is actually a Segway X260, which is similar, if not the exact same thing, as the Sur-Ron. Except it has a couple of extra features. And I've done a little bit to this to make it fit more within the legal e-bike limits. I've put a Kaniwaba pedal kit on it, so it has pedals. And the main difference between the Sur-Ron and the Segway version is that the Segway version has a Bluetooth controller, and then you can connect via Bluetooth to an app on a phone or tablet. And then you can tweak the performance parameters of the bike. You can control what it does in the sports mode. So what I do, I have the pedal kit on it, and then I go into the app when I'm going to drive it out on days like today on this kind of path, and I go into the app and I set the maximum torque and top speed down to be at their lowest settings. So the top speed's around 28 miles per hour. And the torque is much lower, and then it, you know, more closely aligns with like a class 3 bike. And this is going towards Portland Wharf Park. And in my experience, at least in Louisville, Kentucky, is nobody really cares about what you're doing on an e-bike as long as you're not being dangerous or causing problems. I've never had anybody stop me or ask me any questions. And I've even asked a cop or two before about it. But I think, you know, when I lock it down into the low performance mode, I'm going out during a daytime ride like this, where it would more closely align with like a class 2 or 3 bike. You know, be more similar to a lot of pretty standard e-bikes you see. Then, you know, I ride it carefully and don't do anything dangerous. Don't have too many problems. And this is the Portland Wharf Park. So down there, there used to be a path that would go from that park that would go through essentially to like the Shawnee golf course, Shawnee Park area, a little bit further down, but they have not really kept that up, and in the woods it's all kind of fallen apart and cracked and not really all that safe to go through and kind of muddy. And the roads down through here look pretty muddy on their own. Going down to the Ohio River, it looks, you know, pretty icky, pretty muddy. So I don't think I'll be going down through there. And two, it goes along these train tracks that are, you know, industrial tracks that are private property that you're not really supposed to go through. So this is an interesting ride. So I think what I'll do is I will go down back to the road, and I'll go down. I'll see if I can go close to Shawnee Park, because you go down like the Northwestern Parkway and all that stuff. So I'll go down that way in a second, but I'll jump ahead to that because I need to check something before I start that. So now I am on Northwestern Parkway. I don't know that I'm going to go all the way down to Shawnee Park because I just dropped down to 4 bars of battery. And it's a relatively decent little trip away from where I live to get out here. But I'll go down through here a little bit because I don't think I've gone down through here before on an e-bike ride. I think I went through before once on the Honda Navi. But yes, we're on Northwestern Parkway, and you know, throughout Louisville there's other parkways. There's Eastern Parkway that kind of goes through the Highlands. There's Southern Parkway that goes through the kind of southern part of town that goes relatively close to Iroquois Park, which I've recorded some videos at. So a lot of houses that, you know, probably date back to quite a number of years ago that were probably somebody had some lion statues in front of their house. So a lot of houses that, you know, really cool architecture that, you know, been around for quite a while. And there are bike lanes for the most part all the way down to Shawnee Park. Now, the kind of catch to that is that the bike lanes, you know, these are, as you can see, this is a one-way street where I'm at right now. So you can't, I mean, I guess I technically could go against traffic on a bike lane, but I'd rather not. But at least with the bike, I have the handlebar thing for my phone, so I can turn on the GPS. As opposed to the Honda Navi, I don't have one of those on the handlebars. Just because I've seen where people have, you know, on motorcycles or mopeds, stuff that has a motor and vibrates a little bit more than an electric bike would, that it can eventually mess up some of the gyroscopes inside of the phone and your camera. So with the Navi, I didn't mount the phone to the handlebars like this. I just usually leave it in my pocket or something. We'll see how far I go here. And this is, you know, part of town that I really hadn't gone through very often. So it's always nice to kind of go and explore. I know that a lot of places, you know, people have all these preconceived notions about them, and for the most part, you know, I've never really had anybody mess with me when I'm out doing anything. Just kind of be courteous and not, you know, start stuff, and usually people don't tend to bother you. So that's the Shawnee Golf Course on the right. like it's, you know, it's a December day, or not December, it's a January day. It's relatively cold. But I'm sure there's still people out golfing because it's nice and sunny. And for me, you know, I'm just wearing a jacket, just a, you know, not a motorcycle jacket, just like a standard North Face jacket, and these Fox Racing cold weather gloves, and a full face helmet. It's a Riverfront helmet. It's not actually a motorcycle helmet. It's a snowboarding helmet, the RG1DX. I took it because it has the GoPro mount built in, so I can easily attach the GoPro Hero 11 Mini. The only thing that's going to suck about this ride is I'm getting pretty far out, and then I have to ride all the way back. And it's colder weather, which tends to hurt your battery life a little bit on electric stuff. And I didn't bring a charger because the charger for this bike's a big honking thing that's got a fan in it that does not easily fit into a light backpack, but I think I'll be fine. Because I think the furthest I've ever ridden this before in a single trip was about 35 miles. And I still had about 30% or so. And I'm not going to have to go that far. Yeah, so this is Shawnee Park. So I'll go up through here, and then I'll wrap up. And then here they have these kind of nice, spacious bike lanes. The only problem with biking, so this is a better setup than most of the city has. The only downside is there's parking on the inside of the bike lane, which means you have to be on the lookout for people, if they're parked here, opening car doors into your path without looking. So that is something to be aware of and to look out for. Yeah, so now I'm at Shawnee Park. You know, this isn't as large of a park as Cherokee Park or Iroquois Park. It has a boat dock area to launch a boat. Which I assume won't be very busy. But yeah, so I went down through the riverfront area. I went down through there. It didn't seem that they had really done a lot of work yet. It was mostly, it looked like they had done a little bit of cleanup and clearing things that were through there, versus actually starting on new construction or doing new things, which, I mean, it's to be expected. It just started. There's a bike path through here. I'm not sure where all this goes. Yeah, so I think this is part of the path that's supposed to connect to the Louisville Loop that I talked about, that originally would have connected through Portland Wharf Park, but kind of muddy. I got a long drive, so I really don't want to get covered in mud. So yeah, let's go over here and look at the boat ramp. We'll wrap up. Yeah, so that's the Ohio River. Yeah, so so that was starting out in downtown Louisville, going down the Louisville Loop, the running bike path, and going down through the kind of Portland area, going along the riverfront, coming down here to Shawnee Park. On the e-bike in January when it's pretty chilly. But yeah, so that'll wrap up this ride. Until next time.